Hey, what's up everybody? It is in the teens right now. We're not cool enough like the up north states to get snow, so we just get a light dusting and then just really cold. So anyway, I have made a little bit of progress on the Miata, and let's go through that right now. I got the truck pulled to the back side of the property because I'm not going to be needing it right now as the engine is out of here. I think that I will be reusing the slave cylinder off of here. I'm not really sure, but so I still have I need to keep this for potential random parts that I will need that's compatible with the Ford engine. So the truck is just parked back here for now. In the Miata engine bay, I haven't really had any progress in here, but here is the Ford, the 302 that's going to be going in it. I've pulled the valve covers and it is disgusting in there. In the valley, pretty gross as well. So I think I'm going to be getting some new heads. Like I said in the previous videos, I did a compression test and it has good compression. I have gone ahead and ordered a new crank kit that comes with a crank that's been polished and redone, and bearings for the connecting rods and the main bearings. So that's already on order. The heads, I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to order them quite yet because I can still use these heads for mock-up in the engine bay. I don't need anything. I don't need fancy aluminum heads to do all that. So the engine is out. I'm still going to be removing this smog pump and all of this. I'm going to leave these manifolds on there for the time being. I'm going to be getting block hugger headers because you have to get pretty creative with running the exhaust system in here. I was not originally going to drop the subframe right off the bat. I was going to try and cut a little bit, try and fit the motor to trans, cut a little bit, and then once I got it to fit, take it out and plate everything back in. Well, now I've determined that it's going to be a lot easier if I just drop the subframe off the bat. Goal is to get the engine as low and as far back as I can. If I do have to clearance the firewall, I'm okay with doing that. It's not that big a deal. Other progress is I did manage to get another fender. It's well, you can't see it, but it's back there in the barn on the wall. Oh yay, we can see it. Fender, 2 doors. Those are 2 manual doors, and by manual I mean the window regulators. These are both power windows, and this door doesn't really show up on the camera, but a pretty decent dent here, and it's missing the rear view mirror. So I was able to source some doors and a fender, so that really gets the body to a decent place, except for this little guy here. Have to figure something out with this dent. I'm going to be getting a new windshield anyway, so I'll probably leave this windshield in, try and pull this frame out, and then that way I don't have to worry about stressing a new windshield once I put it in there. Transmission, it's huge. So this is a T18, which is a truck transmission. It's huge. I was gonna get a T5, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and move forward with this. It's gonna be interesting to fit it under there. It won't be any lower than the oil pan. It'll just be, I'm probably going to have to do some creative clearancing for the shifter to come through the floor. Bell housing's not really any bigger than the T5 bell housing, but just the height of this thing is pretty intense. Good sized clutch, so I'll be getting a new one of those. And the flywheel's actually decent, but I'll probably end up getting a new one of those just because they're so cheap that it's almost not cost effective to get that one resurfaced. that's about all the progress I have so far. Let me know if you guys want to actually see the process of me pulling this stuff apart. I watch some YouTube videos and I kind of find the actual doing of it boring, and I more just want to see the progress that's been made at the end of the day. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I do have another cool, like, kind of exciting thing. This right here is my grandmother's 1992 Toyota Camry. So for the last, I don't know, lots of years, my little brothers have been driving it, and that's what led to this new bumper and hood. It was in a bit of a fender bender. So yeah, I got this thing. My little brother got another car, and I took this off their hands. It's not perfect by any means. But I like it. So first step, put a trailer hitch on it, right? I don't currently have a working pickup truck, so make this a pickup truck. We don't have trash service here at my house, so I have to go to the dump like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and so this is the new pickup truck of choice. Pretty exciting. So I just been driving this thing around. I had a pretty substantial oil leak, got that straightened out. The tires are more than questionable, so probably gonna have to source some of those soon. Got my fiance a new car. That was a pretty big deal. But the old 302, so excited. I think it's gonna be not as crazy as I thought. I am gonna take my time, so please don't get upset about, oh, why is it taking so long? I'm gonna have little updates here and there. Actually, as many as I can as I go. But it's, as I said earlier, it's in the teens, and I'm working outside, which is not down with. The biggest thing is I gotta get the engine in there, transmission in there, mocked up, bolted to the subframe, and a new cross member. Once it's rolling, I can try and figure out if I can go to a buddy's shop or something, but for now it's gonna have to be done here, and I'm not super stoked on the coldness right now. Why is the trailer loaded up to the Camry? Going to the pull apart. We have a local pull apart here, and I'm going there, and I'm gonna try, I don't know because it's so cold, but I'm gonna try and get a Thunderbird rear end. Pretty sure I'm gonna go with the 7.5 inch, just because it's a touch easier to fit in there. I'm gonna use I'm gonna get the highest gear I can, and I'll tell you why. That transmission, the 4-speed, it is a 1-to-1 final drive and for 4th gear, and so because that is so, there's no overdrive, I need a tall rear end to be able to get any kind of speed out of it. I ran the numbers, and with the 410 rear end, which one might not be strong enough, but two, once I tell you the numbers of the gearing, you'll see top speed was going to be 103, maybe 133 miles an hour. I can't really remember. But cruising speed, more importantly, this is going to be a street car just as much as it's going to be a track car. The cruising speed at 55 was 3,500 RPM or something, and that's going to be screaming on this. It's going to sound like it's screaming on this V8, so that's not going to work. So I ran the numbers, and a lot of Thunderbirds came with a 327 rear end, but some of them came with a 308. If I get a 308 rear end, which I don't know if I'm going to find one of those because they were a little bit more rare, but if I found a 308, I could live with that. But for $200, you can get a 276 rear gear and just have them swapped over. So then it wouldn't matter what rear end I got, as long as it was a 7.5 inch ring gear rear end. I can get a set of 276 gears, put those in here, top speed of 155, right in the meat of the power band, and all the other gears. So I think that's the route I'm going to go. So let's go to the junkyard right now. Sorry this video's so long, but I hope I'm covering some good stuff that you guys wanted to know update wise. Let's go to the junkyard, see what rear end we can find, see if we can pull it out. Boys and girls, here it is. It's a 95 Ford Thunderbird. This one is actually a V8, so it has an 8.8 rear end. I looked around through the yard at all the ones that they had here, and this one had the best starting out gear ratio. So if it comes down to a point where I don't want to change the ring and pinion right now, this one I'll actually still be able to drive it at decent rates of speed and not have to worry about it too much. So this one is an 8.8 with a 308 rear gear. I mean, this car has been pillaged pretty good, but an issue I'm running into right now is parking brake doesn't work, so the whole back wheel's just spinning. But I tried one attempt, pretty sketchy, but this is a car jack pushing a steering shaft that is braced up so that it all doesn't like camber over with various pieces, and so that I was pushing the brake with all that. Well, the rear brakes don't work, so the whole thing was just spinning still. So what I came up with is shove this tire under there. As I'm like feeding it in there, I can push down with the bar, and I was able to loosen all of the ones on this side. So my first thing is I'm going to get the wheels and tires off from both sides, and then I'm going to take, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's warmed up quite a bit, but it is now several hours later, and we've changed the vehicle. So I got to messing with that Thunderbird and found that someone had drilled a hole in the diff cover, and it was open, and I don't know. So like after all these things added up, wasn't worth it to me to try and pull that one. So I found this, a 93 Lincoln. It has an aluminum 8.8 in it, with a little bit taller gear, which is what I was looking for. So now, several hours later, boom, there it is. I'm taking it with the rear mount so that I can try and, if I don't buy the kit to bolt it into the Miata, and I might be able to make something off of that mount. So went ahead and got it with it. It was a super pain. I didn't have the 36mm to take the axle nut off, so I couldn't get the axles out of the diff far enough, so I ended up taking the spring out and loosening as much as I could to push it down far enough to get it out. This is an ABS one, so it has these crazy little sensors on the side. I won't be using that, but it is cool to have the rear end out. That's going to be it for the updates of today, and thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe, like, tell your friends about how awesome this project is going to be. See you guys later. Bye.